Welcome everyone to this section on deployment. Let's start with a quick overview of what this section is going to cover. We're first going to start off in a Jupyter Notebook environment or your Google Colab environment, and we'll start off by analyzing the famous iris dataset, which predicts a flower class, and we're using that dataset so we can focus more on creating a model and creating a deployment from that model instead of the actual analysis of the data itself. So we're going to start from scratch, load in that dataset, create a model off that dataset, and then we'll show you how to export that model, as well as export any additional components you need to go along with that model. For example, if you used scaling in your model, which we will use in this particular case, we'll show you not only how to export your model, but also export your scalar. That way, when new data comes in to your deployed model, you can scale that data based off your historical scaling as the model expects. And then we'll show you really two main ways of deploying your model. One is by creating a callable API. So we'll call that API with Postman, and then we'll show you how to programmatically call that API through Python. And then we'll show you how to call the model through a simple Flask web application, which is essentially just an extension of the fundamentals we build in the API lectures. And then we'll show you how to launch this full machine learning application to the web so that any user can visit your web app, type in whatever numbers they want, and then your web application spits out a prediction based off the saved model you trained in the beginning. All right, so lots to cover here, but first I want to make a couple of notes of what this section is not going to cover. Please note that this course is not a web development course. So if you've never deployed any web application and don't even know maybe what an API is, then this section is probably too advanced for you. And you don't have a good use case yet for deploying a model if you're not actually really familiar with the fundamentals of just what deployment means to begin with. So this section, keep in mind, is going to assume some basic knowledge of APIs and web apps. If you don't know what an API is or what a web application is, please revisit this section after learning a bit about those topics. The entirety of what APIs are and what web applications are, they're really outside the scope of this course, which focuses on deep learning and TensorFlow too. So this course isn't designed to completely supplement an entire web development course. Also, please note that we cannot help you or consult for your homework or personal projects since you want to deploy to the web. Please keep in mind that we have far too many students, and since each deployment case is fundamentally unique to your own dataset and your own model, we cannot personally consult for each individual student. So if you are deploying your own personal projects and have questions on those, please post those questions to our Discord chat channel. Please do not post questions about your own homework projects or your own work project deployments to the Q&A forums. That's not what the Q&A forums is meant for. Now, with that being said, the videos and more importantly, the code that goes along with this section of the course should be more than enough for you to actually use as scaffolding or skeleton code for you to attach to your own datasets and your own projects. So if you go through this section and really understand the core ideas in this section, you should have no problem expanding this to your own projects. Okay, so with that being said, let's get started, and I'll see you in the next lecture.